Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Let's see. Miss Erin down there has local news up next.
Mayor Ollie Tyler makes it official. She's running for re-election. An accused killer breaks down in court. And also this morning we'll be talking about a shark attack off the coast of Florida.
You know, I have a new phrase. I thought of this last night for things that are the same but different, or different but the same. And my phrase is same clown, different nose. Of course, I have an example.
Okay.
Same clown, different nose, first segment. Don't miss it.
Oh, boy.
Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour. Hey, it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler officially kicks off her campaign for re-election.
And so our strategic plan is one of accountability. We hold ourselves accountable, and we're trying to be very good stewards of taxpayer dollars.
She will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Talaferro, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. An accused killer breaks down in court. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears as he listened to officers recount the events. The detective detailed the grisly crime scene and testified that Robinson confessed to killing Renita Williams and having a shootout with police. Robinson's case will be presented to a Caddo grand jury in 2 weeks. 2 people missing in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
Police are searching for 2 disabled people missing in Shreveport. Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Roscoe, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members Tuesday evening. According to police, the pair was last seen around 2 p.m. Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. It's believed that Wilson and Roscoe are driving in a gray Hyundai sedan. If you see them, please notify police immediately. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shooting early today on West 83rd in Cedar Grove. Several cars hit by gunfire. No one was hit. Shreveport's surgeon pleads not guilty. Dr. John Owings pleads not guilty in federal court. He's accused of collecting more than $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. His attorney, Marty Stroud, says Owings made some mistakes, but never intentionally defrauded the government. An emergency forced a cargo plane to return to Shreveport Regional. According to reports, the plane was only 66 miles into its trip when some kind of emergency forced the plane to turn around. Lawmakers in the House have ended days of inaction on the budget. The Appropriations Committee advances a package of bills to chart spending on state government operations in the financial year that begins July 1. Louisiana kicks off its 6th annual Teacher Leader Summit in New Orleans. The conference expected to be attended by 7,000 teachers from around the state. The summit even has its own app to help teachers plot their way through the dozens of lectures and workshops. Superintendent of Academic Content Rebecca Kokler says it's a reinforcement of educational basics.
There are sessions specific to teaching math and reading and writing, and also sessions where they can just learn more about the science behind reading and writing.
This year's conference will have a focus on how to improve outcomes for students. Roseanne Barr showing no sign she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne show over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett, an advisor to former President Obama. Barr's post-firing tweets did include an apology, but also a retweet of a post that juxtaposed an image of Jarrett with an image of a Planet of the Apes actor. High-tech gardening, the wave of the future. You can now get 3D modeling, GPS mapping, lasers, and drones, as well as devices that can read the weather and measure the amount of moisture in the soil. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 9 past 6 o'clock. Traffic update time right now. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
So you like same clown, different shoes
I do.
better than same clown, different nose?
I do.
What do you think? Same clown, different shoes, same clown, different nose. Describing two things that are seemingly the same but slightly different.
Shoes. I like
Really?
shoes. Yeah.
Same clown, different shoes.
I do like shoes better.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. I'm going to think about that. I think you may be right.
Clown shoes are just a thing, man.
Yeah.
A nose could be...
There's a
Nose is the everything.
There's a running joke with me. No, clowns have different noses.
Way more often than they have different shoes.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and different McCarty. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. What are you doing down there?
I'm texting someone.
Why? Why did you wait till the mic came on?
Because I just finished doing what I was doing. You know, I work over here occasionally.
So the show be damned.
No, I'm paying attention. I'm a multitasker.
See, I can't do that. I don't know how you do that.
Different shoes. Clowns with different shoes. I'm listening. Get on with it.
She just grunts. hey, Erin, what do you think about this?
I was involved. I'm an opinionated talk show host. Speaking of Roseanne,
Oh, boy.
just a quick canvassing of the room. Drunk tweet.
Ambien.
Yeah, that's what she said. She tweeted out like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was hopped up on Ambien, blah 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 blah."
Yeah, Ambien.
I look. she's proven for a lot of years she's crazy.
You get what you pay for. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just, my thing with this is I don't understand why people are upset. Roseanne has been the same Roseanne for decades. When you gave her a TV deal, you knew what you were getting. You can't be shocked. It's like, what's that old story about the scorpion where he stings the dog that takes him across the lake or whatever, and the dog's like, why'd you sting me? I helped you out.
I think you got the animals wrong, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Whatever.
She's
nuts.
cray-cray. The shades haven't changed.
No.
She's still cray-cray.
Uh-huh.
That's what you get.
I mean, when she
I
says-
worry about all the people that worked for her. I mean, they, a lot of them came back.
John Goodman's not missing any meals, okay?
But,
Sarah
but I
Gilbert's
mean-
not missing any meals.
But there's a bunch of them that they don't need to do that. They had to convince them to do it. Some of them, the girl who's on the talk or whatever, they had to convince her
you
to
don't
do
think
that.
they didn't know she was crazy? They spent 15 years of their lives with her.
I know, but they're like, they probably had promises from her. This is going to be, we're not going to go off the crazy deep end this time.
If you're a good lawyer, if you're a really good lawyer, don't you have something like that written in? Don't you have the crazy clause written in?
I have a cray-cray clause.
My point
Because
exactly.
if I'm Sarah Gilbert, I'm on the talk, I'm making bank, I'm doing fine. They come to me.
Making bank?
Yeah. When they
Oh.
fan the dollars out at you. What's
You
that
mean
called?
she's being
Raining
paid
money?
well.
Yeah. But they had to come to her and talk her into this. They had to say, look, you were one of the original. We really need you back.
Actually, that's not true.
I bet they did.
No, as a matter of fact, she will tell you that she was the one that convinced a lot of other people. That she was one of the.
Oh, no.
Look, Sarah
That's
Gilbert.
not what I've seen.
Oh, yeah, look at it and see that she convinced John Goodman, that she convinced all the others that because it would be like the old days as long as we can keep the crazy girl off the Ambien.
Yeah, I would highly doubt that.
So, no doubt in your mind, she's got to go. She deserves to be fired no matter what the circumstance. Look, you run over somebody with your car and you're on Ambien, you pay the price. You do something like this on Ambien or not. Are there circumstances that matter?
No.
Are there circumstances that you would accept as an explanation and go, oh, okay, she was on drugs. She was on prescription medicine. She was drunk. Or is Vino Veritas, or in this case, Ambien Veritas? Is there any forgiveness from ABC, or has she crossed that politically correct line so incredibly far that she can never, ever, ever seek redemption?
That was too far. That's over the line, man. That's way over the line.
Well, and this isn't, like we said, an isolated incident. It's not like, she took Ambien, said something stupid. It was like, oh, God, it's a one-time thing.
But
there's no way you can go back.
But this is going in a direction that it was just mean and horrible.
Yeah.
It was a nasty, mean, horrible thing to say.
Well, she's a nasty, mean lady.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But now she's crossed the line.
Why even go personal about people and their appearance? Talk about politics. Talk about their voting records. Talk about the things they say. But don't attack. I mean, you want to text and say I'm a fat, ugly white woman? Whatever. But that tells me you're a moron.
Okay.
You want to text and say I'm an idiot about the things I say?
But you're
then I'm
trying
listening
to draw
you.
a logical conclusion from someone who's just a little nutty. I mean, she's going to do what she's going to do. There's no pause button.
Yeah.
And when you're on drugs, and let's accept that for the moment, that believe me, I know friends, we've had the Ambien stories before. I mean, compared to some of the stories that listeners have called us and told us about what they or loved ones have done on Ambien, what Roseanne did is actually mild. Remember the guy was making sandwiches out of the sofa cushions?
Yeah. There's a lot of crazy things. But,
don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses for Roseanne. I'm just saying it's like Mel Gibson, okay? He gets a DUI.
Right.
He's pulled over, and suddenly he sees that the police officer is a Jewish woman, and suddenly he calls her Christ killer, okay?
Sure.
Now, at some point, I'm thinking Mel Gibson probably feels that way about Jews.
Right.
It was just Vino Veritas.
Let me make this real clear, because there are a lot of people on the KEEL Facebook page and elsewhere who are saying, well, this is just wrong because look at all the things Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar say on The View daily about President Trump, and they get away with it, and they can call him vile and names and call him all kind of, neo-Nazi and all that stuff, and they get away with it. Is this an ABC double standard? what I want you to think about is that, that is something that they do. That's what they do. Don't watch that show if you don't like what they say on The View. But Roseanne's went a little too far.
So basically what you're telling me, at the end of the day, that ABC, as Roseanne's employer, has decided what you did is over the line. We are not going to put up with that. That violates our morals and offends our viewers, and you got to go.
Right.
Same clown, different shoes. Hello, NFL players. You have crossed the line. You have offended our viewers. You have come into the workplace and brought an opinion that is costing us business.
Yep.
And we, as your employer, despite your first... Roseanne yesterday exercised her First Amendment rights, but there are repercussions to what you do.
Yes.
NFL players, same clown, different shoes, have offended NFL fans. They have in the eyes of their employers crossed a line. They are exercising their First Amendment rights, but there are repercussions for their actions. Fair?
Oh, absolutely.
Same clown.
Absolutely.
Different shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. We have a guest about whom I am uninformed.
Well, it looks like we're going to move it to 710 because he may be in a cell zone that's not. It's Dr. Jim Henderson is going to join us.
He's in a cell?
Cell zone. He's not in a cell.
A bad reception area.
No.
She speaks in...
Oh, my
I
God.
would never leave him in a cell. I'd bail him out in a heartbeat.
Dr. Jim.
They're talking higher.
Take heart. She's on the way.
They're
I'll
talking.
fill up the commissary.
They're talking higher ed cuts of $26
I
million.
want to ask you something.
Yeah.
No, we'll do it in the next segment.
Okay.
I do like that same clown, different shoes.
Yeah, it's pretty
right
good.
That I'm getting the tat. 19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot, high 97 today, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Fletch on the road today. Here's Matt with sports.
A walk-off RBI single in the 10th inning completed the New York Yankees' comeback victory over the Houston Astros 6-5. The Astros have been struggling of late, dropping 3 out of 4 games since taking the lead of the AL West. In other baseball action, the Texas Rangers were able to secure a 9-5 victory over the Seattle Mariners. The Washington Capitals look to rebound from a 6-4 loss against the Las Vegas Knights tonight in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The University of Kentucky has dismissed safety Marcus Walker following his arrest on charges of trafficking cocaine and marijuana. The junior faces a hearing after Lexington police found at least 5 pounds of pot and 4 grams of cocaine during a search of an off-campus apartment. And for the 4th straight year, the Cleveland Cavaliers were square off against the Golden State Warriors for the NBA championship. That series kicks off tomorrow night at 8 p.m. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
24 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Okay, so here's the question. Dr. Jim Henderson, the president of the University System of Louisiana, or something like that. It's what are we going to talk about? He's 710 now.
Yeah, 7:10
Because
this morning.
he's in the cell somewhere, and
He needs to get bailed out.
He's not in a cell.
he's in a bad cell zone.
He's in a bad cell zone.
Where on earth do those exist in 21st century America?
Somewhere in South Louisiana, I would assume. He might be in the bayou. You never know. Might be alligator hunting.
I was about to say, Louisiana is one of the worst states for cell phone reception.
Other than Kenai River, Alaska, where is there no internet? Where is there no
I know there's
Wi-Fi?
plain dealing. They have trouble.
Huh?
They have trouble in plain dealing right here.
What?
Yeah.
I got trouble in the Fletcher studio.
They're talking about cuts to higher ed. In fact, the Appropriations Committee, their budget they passed would fund TOPS at 80% and would cut higher ed by $26 million.
So what we've said before, well, let me ask you.
Let's run some more professors off.
But
we hadn't run enough off yet.
But what if we don't have money? How much more are you willing to pay? Because
I'm willing to cut elsewhere. Give me the freaking budget. Let me have a red pen.
The bureaucracy, I'm with you, kid, but the bureaucracy has shown. Do we have to pull up the Greg Tarver cut again? If you think in terms of what the bureaucracy is going to cut, it ain't going to cut itself. Look. I'm looking around to see who's listening. Let me ask you something.
They make me so mad.
Just look at me a second, okay? Where is it written? Where is it carved in stone that state workers should get pensions? Do you get a pension? Who pays for Erin McCarty's retirement?
Erin McCarty.
Parkey, who pays for Matt Parker's retirement?
I mean, the government, I have Social Security, too.
No. I understand, but that's who is going to pay for Erin McCarty's retirement?
For the most part, me.
Okay. Where is it written? How much money do you think the state puts into people's pensions, their employees' pensions?
They put a good home.
Now, I can see, look, and teachers right now are screaming.
I
think teachers should get pensions. I think law enforcement should get pensions. But should the under secretary to the assistant of the Department of Agriculture of the state of Louisiana get a pension?
And who should drive all these state cars?
So you tend to agree with me.
And they're not driving in Hyundais.
Just look at me. Should the under secretary, you get my point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should those people get pensions paid for by you?
But
they're state workers. You have to handle state workers the same.
Why?
Or they'll sue.
No, why? Where is it written
I don't
that
know.
state workers, where is it written that the people who work for you get treated better than you treat yourself?
But we made a promise. Stupid idiots.
Okay?
It's part of your work agreement.
Well, you know what?
It's part of what goes with your job.
My point exactly.
What goes with your job is you can wear shorts every day.
The bureaucracy will never cut itself. The bureaucracy is going, it will not take away from itself. It's going to take away from you. So you have to decide.
You talk about phasing out pensions? OMG. You ain't seen a lobby, son.
Where is it carved in stone that public sector officials should, I'll say it again because I just like saying it. Where is it written that the under secretary to the assistant of the Department of Secretary of Department of Agriculture should get a pension? And there's
written.
And how many of those are there?
A lot of them.
My point exactly. If you want to,
I say just do away with a bunch of them.
It will never, ever, the bureaucracy will never, ever cut itself. It will only cut you. That's you, by the way.
We just got a text, by the way.
What's it say?
These pensions are in the Louisiana State Constitution. That's where it's written.
One more reason for a convention. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Look, we got to decide.
I know.
How much more are you willing to pay? Or if you want to cut, what are you willing to give up?
Yeah.
Because they are not. Traffic time, here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot, high 97 today, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
After several days of inaction, the Appropriations Committee passes 4 budget bills onto the floor. The proposed spending plan from Representative Cameron Henry would fund TOPS at 80% and cut higher ed by $26 million. Baton Rouge Representative Patricia Smith says funding TOPS while slashing higher ed just doesn't make sense.
You have to have the facilities for them to go to and the classes and the instructors in the classrooms for them to be able to go to a facility.
Correct, and I
You
think
can have
that's
the students all you want.
There were some tense moments in the committee as Poor People's Campaign advocates testified, accusing lawmakers of adopting immoral budgets that target societies who are most vulnerable.
I don't ever hear anybody talking about a moral obligation as human beings to try to care for one another. We talk about putting nursing homes on the chopping block, hospitals, education. These are moral issues. They aren't just line items in a budget.
The budget debate now headed to the House floor. Shark attack in Florida with a teenager the victim. More from Tom Rigotti.
15-year-old Cody High of San Angelo, Texas, was swimming with his family in Cocoa Beach when he was attacked by a 7-foot bull shark. The fish took a bite out of his calf before swimming away. High says he saw blood everywhere and knew something bad had happened. Emergency responders helped High to the boardwalk, then rushed him to the hospital, where doctors say he received too many stitches to count. High is now out of the hospital, but he's looking at rehab and possibly another surgery. A GoFundMe page has been created to help pay for expenses. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Police searching for 2 disabled people missing in Shreveport. Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Rasco, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members. According to police, they were last seen Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. An accused killer breaks down in court. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears Tuesday as he listened to Shreveport police recount the tragic events. The detective detailed the grisly crime scene and testified that Robinson confessed to killing Renea Williams and having a shootout with police. Robinson's case will be presented to a grand jury in 2 weeks. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Mayor Ollie Tyler announces she's running for re-election. She says she'll run on her record and the successes in bringing grant money to town.
Additionally, our team has applied for and acquired more than probably $25 million now. Last year, at the end of last year, we had more than $20 million in grant dollars over a 3-year period to supplement tax dollars to provide greater services and programs for our citizens.
Tyler will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Talifero, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. Shreveport surgeon pleads not guilty. Dr. John Owings pled not guilty in federal court. He's accused of collecting more than $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. His attorney, Marty Stroud, says Owings made some mistakes but never intentionally defrauded the government. An emergency forced a cargo plane to return to Regional Airport. According to reports, the plane was only 66 miles into its trip when there was some kind of emergency that forced the plane to turn around. The fire department had over a dozen units on standby as the plane landed. Luckily, no one was hurt. A record number of women are seeking seats in the U.S. Senate. 42 women in the two major parties, the most ever, are qualified to run for 19 seats in the Senate. And Roseanne Barr showing no signs she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett, an advisor to former President Obama. Barr's post-firing tweets included an apology, but also a retweet of a post that juxtaposed an image of Jarrett with an image of a Planet of the Apes actor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Look, you're the one that's talked forever about how many more state employees there. Why do you think politicians, why do you think people are dying for those jobs? Because they pay good and you get a free retirement.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're putting your own money in. I guess 8, 9, 10, 11%. I don't know what it is, depending on what you what options you have. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
I just know my mother was a state worker,
You're
was
right.
retired.
Not arguing.
I have a brother who's getting a state pension now.
And you're paying for it. And now that we have budget problems in the state of Louisiana, and we're looking, and look, the term, we want a moral budget. A moral budget.
Things got crazy yesterday.
But
up in
the
there.
implication is that if you're not for paying for everything that somebody who doesn't have wants, that makes you immoral. That if you are not willing for you and your family to do without, if you are not, where does the moral line end? I want more. I want more. I want more. Where do you draw that line where you're moral but then you're not? In your mind, you pay enough in taxes.
Yeah, I do.
In your mind, the state gets enough of your money. But those legislators yesterday, they want a moral budget. Those people who are for that want more free stuff.
Yeah.
They want a moral budget because you, Erin McCarty, have decided that you are paying enough in taxes. That makes you immoral.
I'm immoral. Okay.
Yes. Well, play the soundbite if you want.
Oh, boy.
You played it. They're calling you immoral. If you are not for the moral budget, isn't that how they termed it?
I guess.
That budget with cuts is immoral.
Because it hurts poor people. Yeah.
If you're not for the moral budget, don't accept the template. How often do we say that? Don't accept the template. Do you accept the template that if you are not for an expanded Louisiana government, then you are sinful, you are immoral? Do you accept that?
No.
But that's what they're calling you.
They're calling me immoral.
And
I know.
who's winning the argument?
Well, the Popo had to haul some of these people out. Actually got hauled out of the meeting, the appropriations meeting. It got crazy. We ought to call Dodie because she was in there.
She said Popo, cray, and making bank. And it's only 6:39.
I feel like I'm in a Beyonce music video.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, the immoral Erin McCarty.
Oh, boy.
Traffic update, Ruben's here.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Lakeshore Drive near Hearn Avenue. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and very hot. High 97 today. Clear to partly cloudy and warm. Low 72 tonight. High 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, let me see if I can do this, okay? Okay.
You can't. There's no way you can. I know what you're doing.
Everybody that's running for mayor of...
You cannot do it.
It's hard.
You cannot do it.
Okay. Ollie Tyler.
Okay.
Adrian Perkins.
Okay. Good start.
Hold on. Ollie Tyler, Adrian Perkins. I feel like I'm like in school again.
Test.
No, Sister Eugenia, I know the answer.
This is the ACT.
Let me get my ruler.
Ollie Tyler.
You got 2.
Adrian Perkins.
Yeah.
Jim Talaferro.
That's 3.
Leo Savage.
4.
John Paul Young.
5.
The Ken Kraft guy.
He's trying to get the signatures. That's 6.
Okay, so he's not officially in yet.
Well, he's getting the signatures. If
So
he gets
he's
them,
not officially in
not
yet.
Officially,
Okay,
no.
so he's still at 5. The New Orleans guy, what's his name? Buddy Fox.
Don't tell him.
No, wait, that was Buddy Fox. Bud Fox was in Wall Street.
Yeah, that's not him.
Who am I thinking of? The New Orleans.
Come on.
I'm not going to think of his name.
Okay,
Ron
Ray
Smith.
Ray Smith.
Ray.
Ray
Yeah.
Smith. Okay, that's 6. Is that all?
And possibly Steven Jackson.
And Matt Parker.
No, possibly doesn't matter. Okay, Ken Kraft, we can't count him yet. He's not officially in.
Okay.
Steven Jackson, we can't count. He's not in. So there's 6. What's the New Orleans guy again?
Ray Smith.
Ray Smith.
Yeah.
Ray Donovan. Whatever.
It's 6. Ken Kraft getting the signatures. Possibly Steven Jackson.
Maybe Cedric Glover.
Not if Steven's in. It'll be one of the 2 of them. No doubt. One of the 2 of them.
So what happened last night? What happened at the Ollie party?
Ollie had a big fundraiser. She had a lot of supporters. She was touting her record and her lowering of your taxes. The tax millages have gone down. Also talking about how many roads she's repaired. She talked to Smidge about crime, about how crime goes up and down in every city. She says she's not dodging the question. She's just focusing on finding solutions. I did notice, by the way, her poster that was behind her said, "Re-elect Ollie Tyler for mayor." The same image that was sent out to all of us earlier this week or last week.
Yes.
It had the Ollie Tyler website was not on it. OllieTylerForMayor.com was not on it. So either they made a new banner or they white-outed it with blue ink. I don't know.
White-outed.
It's not hard to remove those, by the way.
It's not?
No.
Okay. I was just curious because there was no website you couldn't see anywhere from what I could see. And, I mean, I wasn't there.
Smart move on her part.
Yeah, she got the website off. I'm such a stickler for detail and for getting things right out of the gate that before I have my fundraising announcement, I'm going to have my website ready where you can go click the button, donate here, or call and volunteer, or ask for a sign. I'm going to have that website ready, and it's not ready. So how do you do this? Who put this together? That's like the Three Stooges. Did they call them in?
Do you think she's just overconfident? It's like, we'll get to it. It's not that big of a deal. Or her people are at the very least. Like, it's on the list. We'll get to it when we get to it. But it's not that big of a deal.
Maybe. And I want to remind you.
Or maybe she's so focused on city business.
That's what she'll tell you. She
but
said, I'm busy taking care of the city.
But on the other hand, and I don't know the answer, perhaps you do, who is in charge of her campaign?
There are people being paid to do this. Do your job. I would fire them.
One would
You're
think.
done. If my website's not ready by my fundraising night, get me somebody who would have had that done. I mean, seriously, you're gone.
Putting a website together and making it functional does not cost all that money.
No, it's not.
We have people here who do it for $69 a month.
Absolutely. Town Square Media will take over it, Ollie. We handle this. We do good ones.
Actually do that.
We absolutely do. And I want to remind you, though, because qualifying for the race is, what did we say, July 18th through the 20th?
I think it's mid-July sometime is the deadline.
So, and the election's November 6th. I want to remind you that we saw a lot of Ollie Tyler when she ran for her first term. She was out. How many times did she come to our studio? Over and over and over again. Then when she got in the runoff with Victoria Provenza, she was like, ooh. She turned down debates with Victoria. She declined debates.
You don't see that as politically wise?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what we're going to see again, because she does not need to. She does not need to engage.
Well,
that's where she thinks. That's where people are going to tell her.
So what's your theory here?
How many forums does she go to with all of them?
Well, when you have Adrian Perkins, who is going to attack her, let's be blunt, her law and order. Crime is the weakness.
Crime will be the issue. My bet is she's at 4 or under forums. Let's set that now. Prior to the November 6th primary, she attends 4 or under forums with all the other candidates.
Now, depends on what.
You think it'll be more?
Depends on what the polls say.
You think?
Oh, of course.
Would you send her out there against everybody? Everybody's throwing mud at her.
It would depend on what the polls say.
I would not send her out much.
So just no challenge. What's the Donald Trump theory? And who else were we talking about does that? No attack goes unchallenged.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't let it sit. Even look at Cedric on social media. I mean, he's just got a nose for that. I mean, as soon as he finds it and he sets it straight in
his mind.
He makes his points.
You're absolutely right. But I think you will see, here's her strategy. If I'm running her campaign, and by all means I'm not a campaign guru, but if I'm running Ollie Tyler's campaign, A, I get her website up like yesterday. B, I set the stage for 4 key forums in, key strategic neighborhoods where it can be televised, it can be on the radio, whatever you want to do. And I invite, big place where big crowds can come. It's kind of structured. I don't want it to be a free-for-all. I do not want to put her in a free-for-all at any cost. And I let the questions be asked. Okay, you have 2 minutes to answer. You have 2 minutes. And that's what I put her in. I don't put her in any free-for-alls. Not interested. Not going to do it. And then the rest of my time, I have her out and about, speaking to Rotary clubs and Lions clubs, going to beauty shops, going out to factories, meeting and greeting people and kissing babies.
Sounds exactly like what she did last time.
Yes, it does. She was at limited forums in the primary. Well, she went to a lot of things prior to the primary, but after that, they locked her up. They kept her, I don't say that, they kept her very controlled.
I was about to say, the phrase you use quite often is protect the shield. Her people protected the shield. This time it seems like they're leaving some cracks.
They got to fix this. You're thinking, you would not find, this is what boggles my mind. You have a female African-American mayor in New Orleans. You have a female African-American mayor in Baton Rouge. You would never have found either one of those ladies getting out for their big event night and not having their website up. It just wouldn't have happened.
Here's Miss Ollie's problem. How many candidates right now declared are officially in, what did we say, 6?
6.
Because for that early November primary, look at me now, it's 5 on 1. And you know who the one is?
Oh, absolutely.
It's Ollie Tyler.
You bet, absolutely.
649, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Dr. Jim Henderson just after 7 o'clock. Traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
649, your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of sunny again today and hot middle to upper 90s. Already 76, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 650, and your money now. .1017 FM, 710 Keel, 652. Here's sports.
A walk-off RBI single in the 10th inning completed the New York Yankees' comeback victory over the Houston Astros 6-5. The Astros have been struggling of late, dropping 3 out of 4 games since taking the lead of the AL West. In other baseball action, the Texas Rangers were able to secure a 9-5 victory over the Seattle Mariners. The Washington Capitals look to rebound from a 6-4 loss against the Las Vegas Knights tonight in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The University of Kentucky has dismissed safety Marcus Walker following his arrest on charges of trafficking cocaine and marijuana. The junior faces a hearing after Lexington police found at least 5 pounds of pot and 4 grams of cocaine during a search of an off-campus apartment. And for the 4th straight year, the Cleveland Cavaliers were square off against the Golden State Warriors for the NBA championship. That series kicks off tomorrow night at 8 p.m. From the Keel Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
I'm going to make your head explode today.
I've got it. Well, I've got it in front of me. What I said, 1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, 655. What I said was we are at a point in Louisiana again where we have to decide what we want to pay for and what we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, where is it written in stone? Where is it carved in stone that the under secretary to the assistant guy in charge of the Department of Agriculture gets a pension?
Mm-hmm.
Should look, I see it makes sense. First responders, that's a pretty damn dangerous job.
Sure.
You get a pension. Teachers, it's a pretty damn impressive, you get a pension.
What about the principals?
Should the should everybody who works in state government get a pension? $2 billion plus a year.
How about let's not contribute 77% to it? How about let's cut that to 70? Budget problem solved. End of story.
Well, the thing is, no legislator or governor or any other politician is going to go, you know what, guys, we're cutting your money. Have a nice day.
The bureaucracy will never cut itself. It will cut you before it cuts itself. 656, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The New York Times fact-checked President Trump over the Memorial Day weekend. The New York Times claims that Trump distorted Democrat positions on two issues. First, Trump said the Democrats are rooting against his negotiations with North Korea. Second, Trump accused Democrats of coming to the defense of MS-13 thugs. The New York Times says that both of those claims that Trump made are false. Well, now, maybe they can convince their own readers who live in a Trump hate bubble, but anybody who's been paying attention knows better. The drive-by media and elected Democrats pretended that Trump called all illegal immigrants animals. They knew damn well he was talking about gangbangers of MS-13. Democrats continued to attack Trump for using a term animal, while an MS-13 member nicknamed Animal was sentenced for murder. Nancy Pelosi said even gang members have the spark of divinity. So yeah, Democrats came to the defense of MS-13. And it's on the record that Democrats from Pelosi on down have made fun of Trump's negotiations with the Norks at every turn. It's inarguable. They hope he fails there. They want a nuclear North Korea, but he's succeeding beyond their worst fears. He's succeeding beyond their fake news and their fake fact checks. He is succeeding, and they're going crazy. Say, folks, if you own land, I'm sure you would love to have the time to work it, develop it, spend time with it. If so, go see my good friends at Mahindra. Because for a limited time, you can get one of Mahindra's best-selling tractors, the 2555 Shuttle with Loader, and get up to $9,000 off MSRP. With 55 horsepower, it's great for all of you hobby farmers. Plus, the 2555 includes an industry-leading 7-year limited powertrain warranty. Mahindra also offers a full lineup of tractors from 20 horsepower all the way up to 125 horsepower. For offer details or to learn more about the world's #1 selling tractor, visit MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got it clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot, high 97 today, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
It is 7:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin, local news, getting it ready right now.
Campaign is heating up as Ollie Tyler officially announces she's running for re-election. More violence in Shreveport. We'll talk more about that. And an accused killer breaks down in court.
Dr. Jim Henderson, president of the it's very long. President of the University System of Louisiana, joins us at 10 past. Talk about TOPS and higher ed funding. And talking about Roseanne a little bit. What did we say? Same clown, different shoes.
Yeah.
I will explain what we mean. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
Unique and
The power of information. KEEL News now.
2 people missing in Shreveport. Police searching for 2 disabled people, Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Rasco, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members. According to police, the pair was last seen Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler officially kicks off her campaign for re-election. She's touting her efforts to lower your taxes.
Just last year, the administration and city council once again reduced your property taxes. We did that last year, and since I've been in office, we've decreased a total of 6.05 mills. What does that mean? That means about $60 on every $100,000 worth of your property.
She will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Taliaferro, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. An accused killer breaks down in court. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears as he listened to Shreveport police recount the tragic events. After several days of inaction, the Appropriations Committee has passed 4 budget bills to the House floor. Representative Scott Simon took offense to accusations that the budget's being passed on that include deep cuts that are immoral. He says the people whose services are getting cut are not actually poor.
I'm all about taking care of the poor. I am nothing but taking care of the poor when I'm here. But what we have done is we have expanded that definition of poor so big.
Now that commentary from the St. Tammany Republican sparked an intense reaction from several who temporarily shut down the meeting and had to be dragged out, chanting, "We want a moral budget."
Wouldn't be here if we were taken care of. We're here because you're not, and the budget doesn't reflect it.
The proposed spending plan would fund TOPS at 80% and cut higher ed by $26 million. A Shreveport surgeon pleads not guilty. Matt Parker with that story.
Dr. John Owings pled not guilty Tuesday in federal court. Owings is accused of collecting over $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. Owings' attorney, Marty Stroud, says that Owings made some mistakes, but never intentionally defrauded the government. If convicted, Owings could face up to 15 years in prison. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
President Trump hosting a Make America Great Again rally in Nashville. President promising that America will never be soft on immigration.
We're not going to be a stupid country anymore. We've stopped it.
The president was also there to boost Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, who's running for the Senate. Roseanne Barr showing no sign she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett. Outrage from the parents of students at Parkland, Florida High School where a mass shooting took place, prompts a video game distributor to pull the active shooter game from its online shelves.
Following harsh criticism and heavy backlash online, the active shooter video game will not be released on a popular streaming site. Valve Corporation deciding to pull the game from their online gaming store, Steam. The simulation-type game would allow users to operate as an active shooter inside of a school, sparking outrage, as you can imagine, among Marjorie Stoneman Douglas students and their parents. Valve saying they took a closer look at the developer of this game and made the determination to pull it. Steam says they will also take a broader look into their content policies.
Starbucks halting brewing to discuss race. The coffee chain's anti-bias training was personal, asking workers to break into small groups to talk about their experience with race. All of the stores will be back open for regular hours today. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's here, traffic update.
We have reports of a minor accident on Line Avenue near Piermont Road, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twelve past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Once again, Dr. Jim Henderson is University of Louisiana System President. Hey, Dr. Jim, welcome back to KEEL. Thank you for taking time for us.
Hey, good morning. It's always a pleasure.
So when the University of Louisiana System President, i.e. you, is looking at potential cuts to TOPS, to higher ed, to all sorts of things, what do you do? Were you on the phone a lot yesterday? Do you start, for lack of a better word, lobbying people? Do you call in markers? What exactly is your strategy in this situation?
Well, that's a great question. Of course, I never lobby as a public servant. We always advocate, which is, come on, that's a euphemism. But yesterday we had all 9 of our university presidents in town to have conversation with legislators to really give them information, to inform them with the impact of the decisions that they're making, and they're very receptive to that. And we have legislators that come from both sides of the aisle in terms of their philosophy on taxation and the size of government, from all from the whole spectrum of those in terms of support for higher education, and they listen. And I'll be honest, yesterday and this weekend, I saw a little bit more bipartisanship than maybe we've been used to over the last couple of years.
But Dr. Jim, it still looks like the budget bill that came out of the appropriations cuts colleges and universities about $25 million. Can you give us some examples of what that will mean?
Yeah. Well, first you understand that colleges and universities in Louisiana already operate at the lowest resource base per student in the country. So we're already behind our competitors. And when you look at it from any kind of measures, you can look at it as state support per capita, where we spend $85 less per capita than they do in Alabama, and $84 less per capita than they do in Arkansas. And here's the one that surprises people: $22 less per capita in this huge state just to our west called Texas that has this huge advantage called economies of scale. And so, we've long underinvested in higher education. But what I'll tell you is it's progress, because when the day started yesterday, colleges and universities were being cut $96 million.
Whoa.
So we made up $70 million of that in one day. And I think that as we continue to work with legislators, continue to show them the return on investment you get from talent development, we can close that gap, and we can close the $26 million gap that still remains with TOPS.
If we don't, does that mean we lay off people? We shut some programs down at universities? And I know you don't want to be like the governor and throw out these, nursing home patients are going to go to the curb. But what kind of examples of programs right here? Let's deal with LSU Shreveport. What kind of programs here could be impacted?
Well, what you'll see is fewer course opportunities. You might see it take longer for someone to graduate simply because a course is not available. You'll see faculty that will remain underpaid, under-remunerated, especially compared to our southern region peers. And you'll just see the prolonging of this lack of investment that we have in higher education. So when you get to numbers like this, it's not the drastic impact. What it is, it's just the death by 1,000 cuts. We've got to stop that. I promise you, our competitors are responding to the new demands of the 21st century economy, where automation is prolific, where artificial intelligence is replacing jobs that have been bread and butter in Louisiana. If we don't develop our people, remember, the foundation of workforce development, of economic development, of community development is human development. And we've got to reflect that in our budget decisions and in our investment.
I think you'd be the first to say, we've talked about this before, that the way things are funded by state government in Louisiana is rather, it's very complex. Fair enough?
It is too, yeah.
At some point in the midst of all this, could the state legislature, could you find yourself trying to decide, or at least where to throw your weight and influence, as it were, where it's TOPS funding versus college funding?
Yeah, I got asked that question in committee just last week. I went to the table, wasn't asked. I just wanted to provide some information. That's a false choice. TOPS is a decision the state made that said for students that have demonstrated merit, and you can debate what demonstrating merit means, but we have those criteria already defined in state law. So students that demonstrate merit, we're going to provide funding that covers a portion of their cost of going to college. So that's a student scholarship-focused spending priority. The other side is how much do we support our colleges and universities? They're two separate questions. We link them together because it's convenient and because they're similar, but it's a false choice to say we're going to do one or the other. We have to do both.
You sound like you're optimistic, though, that they're going to work this out.
I will be optimistic until the last day, and that's the only way to operate in this environment. You can't get too excited at good news, but you also can't get too depressed and panic at the bad news. You have to continue to work the problem.
And what is your message to your staff and all the people at the universities around the state? What is your I guess you have to say, because July 1 is going to be here, you have to say prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right?
Well, I actually tell them to let's make the best happen, because they have a role to play. It's our students are heavily engaged, in messaging. Our faculty and staff are heavily engaged in messaging. You know, this last year we brought the presidents together of these 9 universities, these distinct universities all have their own mission, their own history, their own traditions. And they said collectively we're going to produce the most educated generation in Louisiana's history. We're going to drive economic growth through public-private partnerships. We're going to recruit, retain, and develop the world-class faculty that enrich our communities. They did this with 1 year of stability, and it created an environment of excitement and responsiveness and creativity and innovation amongst our faculty and our students. We're going to make sure that that continues. We're going to use that. We're going to leverage that to influence the outcomes in this legislative session. I know we can be successful, and I know that right-minded people, and the vast majority of them want to do what's best for Louisiana. They're going to come to the realization that investment in talent development is absolutely essential to our future competitiveness.
Dr. Jim, let's pretend like you and me are at Superior having a margarita.
Oh, brother.
Okay? and nobody's listening.
And we used Uber.
Yeah, we used Uber, absolutely. And you and I are talking, and another one of my neighbors who was a professor packed up. Another friend of mine's kid went out of state to college. I'm tired of that. Do you feel like that too?
I feel like we have an opportunity to change that. You know, we've got so many success stories from students that decided to stay in Louisiana, to attend one of our universities, and are giving back to their communities, or driving growth in their regional economies. We got so many of those success stories, but we can have so many more. And I look at the mailings that start coming to kids when they're sophomores in high school from these out-of-state public institutions that they're like vultures circling our state, trying to take our best and brightest. You know, I want to be in a place where we're the ones that are plucking the best and brightest from these other states, that we're having an in-migration, and we're starting to see it. Look on the I-20 corridor, and look at what Tech and Grambling State and ULM and Northwestern, and then partnering with schools like Bossier Parish Community College, Delta Community College. They have created this technology corridor that is still a hidden secret, but is soon to be the envy of the nation. They've done it because of collaboration, because of innovation, because of faculty that are willing to push the envelope in terms of knowledge acquisition and knowledge transfer to students. And you're going to see that economic growth drive us into the new economy. I'm telling you, that is the hotbed of technological innovation right now in the country that nobody seems to really understand.
You're making too much sense. You're going to need another margarita. We'll have to continue this conversation another time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Thank you, Dr. Jim.
Thank you all very much.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 19 past 7 o'clock. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue. And we're still keeping a close eye on that minor accident on Line Avenue near Piermont Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 22 past 7 o'clock. Time for sports. Fletch out today. Here's Matt.
A walk-off RBI single in the 10th inning completed the New York Yankees' comeback victory over the Houston Astros 6-5. The Astros have been struggling of late, dropping 3 out of 4 games since taking the lead of the AL West. In other baseball action, the Texas Rangers were able to secure a 9-5 victory over the Seattle Mariners. The Washington Capitals look to rebound from a 6-4 loss against the Las Vegas Knights tonight in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The University of Kentucky has dismissed safety Marcus Walker following his arrest on charges of trafficking cocaine and marijuana. The junior faces a hearing after Lexington police found at least 5 pounds of pot and 4 grams of cocaine during a search of an off-campus apartment. And for the 4th straight year, the Cleveland Cavaliers were square off against the Golden State Warriors for the NBA championship. That series kicks off tomorrow night at 8 p.m. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL 725. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Scott Hughes, political analyst, joins us at about 7:40.
Going to kind of handicap the mayoral race.
Is that what we're going to talk about?
You bet.
Okay. What was the phrase? What's our operative phrase of the day? Our operative phrase of the day.
Same clown, different shoes.
Same clown, different shoes.
Yep.
There was a friend of mine on social media last night had this Roseanne thing going back and forth, this, that, or the other, and I posted the following. NFL protesters and their supporters, please pay attention. You are an employee. You, like Roseanne, have a constitutional right to free speech, and your boss has a right to fire you.
You bet.
Roseanne, NFL guys on a knee. Same clown, different shoes.
Oh.
Yes or no?
Interesting. I think maybe yes. And I think the NFL's feeling the pinch. But can they fire them?
Of course they can. If they pay off the contract.
They'd have
Let
to
me
pay
find,
off the
hold on, Let me
contracts.
find the quote from a couple of days ago.
I mean, Roseanne is not walking away poor. Trust me. ABC made $45 million on her, 10 episodes? 10 episodes.
Here's the deal. And this is a quote I found a couple of days ago. It's on ESPN. They've got an analyst, a commentator, Louis Riddick, former NFL player. Louis Riddick. Quote, owners trying to protect their bottom line. Why is that bad? Shouldn't that be what they're trying to do? By trying to protect their bottom line, aren't they in effect looking out for the players? You like making that $15 million a year? Well, you know what? Quit shooting off your own toes. Worse, quit shooting off my toes. I've got a business to run here. Same clown, different shoes?
I would say a little bit different in that Roseanne's a personal attack on another individual.
No.
And very racist.
Not arguing that at all.
Just horrible.
But people say things that are that bad or worse. Chris Rock got up on stage on tour and repeatedly talked about And I looked for the soundbite for this morning, didn't have time to pull it up. It's on YouTube. He talks about America will be truly equal when just as many white mothers are crying over their dead sons as are black mothers. Okay? Now, this is obviously before school shootings. But on the other hand, was there any repercussion? Did anybody go, man, you can't say that. That's a horrible thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
So he can hide behind, and hide behind is not the right word, but to cloak himself in, as does Bill Maher and Jon Stewart on The Daily Show. When you say something serious that is interpreted, that is taken, that goes over the line, you can always fall back on the I'm a comedian. That just didn't work for Roseanne this time, because she, in fact, did go just a little too far.
You bet she did.
Well, there's two other things. A lot of people are saying, well, ABC's got double standards. Look, the only thing ABC cares about is dollars and ratings. And guess what Roseanne was bringing in a lot of until she said something stupid.
See, I'm not sure that's 100% right. ABC, as are most people in, look, she deserved to get fired. But
Agreed.
on the other hand, don't tell me that ABC or any major television network is concerned only about dollars. If that was the case, they wouldn't have some of the shows on that they have.
And they wouldn't let her go. 22 million were watching her. They made 45 million.
Immediately after that tweet, sponsors were pulling out.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else. So they not only do you have her saying something completely insensitive and stupid, but they're losing money. You can put another show in there and at least get close.
I would venture to say, based on their history, that if they had a star who said something like that about Donald Trump or Melania Trump or one of the Trump kids,
Well, just watch The View any morning.
or any black
Yeah,
Republican,
but sponsors
they'd
aren't
still
pulling
be
out.
employed today.
If sponsors start taking their dollars, people will pull out. Look at the NFL changing their policy.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we're still keeping a close eye on that minor accident on Line Avenue near Piermont Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Information. KEEL News now.
After several days of inaction, the Appropriations Committee passes 4 budget bills onto the floor. The proposed spending plan from Representative Cameron Henry would fund TOPS at 80% and cut higher ed by $26 million. Baton Rouge Representative Patricia Smith says funding TOPS while slashing higher ed just doesn't make sense.
You have to have the facilities for them to go to and the classes and the instructors in the classrooms for them to be able to go to a facility.
Correct, and I
You
think
can have
that's
the students all you want.
There were some tense moments in the committee as Poor People's Campaign advocates testified, accusing lawmakers of adopting immoral budgets that target societies who are most vulnerable.
I don't ever hear anybody talking about a moral obligation as human beings to try to care for one another. We talk about putting nursing homes on the chopping block, hospitals, education. These are moral issues. They aren't just line items in a budget.
The budget debate now headed to the House floor. Shark attack in Florida with a teenager the victim. More from Tom Rigotti.
15-year-old Cody High of San Angelo, Texas, was swimming with his family in Cocoa Beach when he was attacked by a 7-foot bull shark. The fish took a bite out of his calf before swimming away. High says he saw blood everywhere and knew something bad had happened. Emergency responders helped High to the boardwalk, then rushed him to the hospital, where doctors say he received too many stitches to count. High is now out of the hospital, but he's looking at rehab and possibly another surgery. A GoFundMe page has been created to help pay for expenses. Tom Regani, Fox News.
Police searching for 2 disabled people missing in Shreveport. Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Rasco, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members. According to police, they were last seen Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. An accused killer breaks down in court. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears Tuesday as he listened to Shreveport police recount the tragic events. The detective detailed the grisly crime scene and testified that Robinson confessed to killing Renea Williams and having a shootout with police. Robinson's case will be presented to a grand jury in 2 weeks. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Mayor Ollie Tyler announces she's running for re-election. She says she'll run on her record and the successes in bringing grant money to town.
Additionally, our team has applied for and acquired more than probably $25 million now. Last year, at the end of last year, we had more than $20 million in grant dollars over a 3-year period to supplement tax dollars to provide greater services and programs for our citizens.
Tyler will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Talifero, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. Shreveport surgeon pleads not guilty. Dr. John Owings pled not guilty in federal court. He's accused of collecting more than $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. His attorney, Marty Stroud, says Owings made some mistakes but never intentionally defrauded the government. An emergency forced a cargo plane to return to Regional Airport. According to reports, the plane was only 66 miles into its trip when there was some kind of emergency that forced the plane to turn around. The fire department had over a dozen units on standby as the plane landed. Luckily, no one was hurt. A record number of women are seeking seats in the U.S. Senate. 42 women in the 2 major parties, the most ever, are qualified to run for 19 seats in the Senate. And Roseanne Barr showing no signs she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett, an advisor to former President Obama. Barr's post-firing tweets included an apology, but also a retweet of a post that juxtaposed an image of Jarrett with an image of a Planet of the Apes actor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What are you reading that we've all known for like 25 years?
I just got off deep. I got off deep onto this Forrest Gump thing.
Okay, what year was Forrest Gump? 98, 99?
I don't know.
Probably 94 or 95.
I did not know that Kurt Russell did the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump.
Understand this, that 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright, and Erin McCarty. Here's what you need to know.
94, July 6, 1994.
Wow, so it's 94, 04, 14. It's almost 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to know about Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
When impressionists do Elvis impressions, They're not doing Elvis. They're doing Kurt Russell doing Elvis.
Yes.
His
You're right.
Elvis is that good. If you go back
So
and look,
good.
where there was a made-for-TV movie at one point where I think it was a made-for-TV where he played Elvis,
Mm-hmm.
and he's astonishing.
Well, he also did, 3,000 Miles to Graceland, where he was a Elvis impersonator that robbed one of the casinos. Like, he's done Elvis multiple times just because he likes Elvis, and he's good at it.
And who did they consider for the part other than Tom Hanks, you said?
Chevy Chase was supposed to be the lead. Can you imagine? And Ice Cube was offered the part of Bubba.
Did you know, because we talked about this yesterday in the day after Memorial Day, and we talked about the miniseries, the HBO from about 2001, I think, Band of Brothers, that was produced by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, and I put it on my Facebook page, about Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon having a cameo almost 20 years ago in Band of Brothers. He's in one scene. He's got 2 or 3 lines. He's there and he's gone.
Right.
You know who else did a cameo in Band of Brothers?
Who?
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, in one of the latter episodes, plays an American soldier at a distance of about 100 or 200 yards being tortured and screaming.
Wow.
You can hear, if you listen close, it's Tom Hanks, and he's screaming, and he's saying, "Help me, please someone help me." And just one of the many actors that did cameos, just like in Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah.
like in Band of Brothers.
I'm such a huge Forrest Gump fan, so I love that movie.
It reminds you of Matt, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does.
739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, political analyst Scott Hughes. Mayor's race. Who's still going to get in? Who's going to win? Who's got a chance? Who's wasting their money? Well, actually, their supporters' money. That's coming up next. Right now, here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Walker Road near Westburg Coons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.741, it's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Keel app free to download, presented by Office Furniture Source. Mr. Scott Hughes, local political analyst. Hey, Mr. Scott, welcome back to Keel. Thanks for taking time for us today.
Good morning, Robert and Erin.
Morning.
So let's see. Miss Ollie is officially in. We counted the official Shreveport mayoral candidates as of, 6 right now.
With Ken Kreff trying to get the signatures and Stephen Jackson still undecided.
Who do you think is still going to get in? And is there anybody who might jump into the race, Glover, who might be a last-minute surprise?
Well, at this point, I actually have 9 names.
Oh, boy, I'm missing some. Who am I missing?
So the names on my list, and I think some have officially announced, some have claimed they're running, some may get in. But my list would be, obviously, the incumbent, Ollie Tyler. Adrian Perkins has formally announced. You've mentioned Stephen Jackson. We're not sure if he is in yet or not. I'm told there was actually another announcement last night. Tremekius Dixon announced that he is running. Then you have Jim Talaferro, who has announced. John Paul Young has said he's running on Facebook.
Yep.
Ray Smith has formally announced. Ken Kreff is telling everyone that he's running, and Lee Savage has announced.
Okay.
Let me start here. And maybe this should be the last question, but I'll ask it first. It was a bunch of years ago that Baton Rouge political analyst, pundit, writer, I think it was John McGinnis, who said, quote, Keith Hightower is Shreveport's last white mayor. Was he right?
I don't know that he's right. In the short term, I think he was right. We certainly were going to go through a cycle where we were going to elect African-American mayors. We've seen that pretty much in all of our municipal positions here in Shreveport, definitely. But if you follow politics, you see places like Atlanta where that happened, Andrew Jackson. But then you also see things cycle back. After a while, you get through that round of firsts, or that political newness, and things settle out. And so the question is, are we at a point now where we could see a white mayor reelected in Shreveport? I'm not sure this time it's in the cards necessarily, but you do see it on the horizon where you hope a point where race is not the factor in a race. It's a person's character. But in Louisiana, in Shreveport, it's often not more about race. You have a situation where the majority of African Americans in our county, our parish, are registered Democrats. So this also becomes a party situation when you have a Democrat run against what's often a Republican on the other side of the ballot.
Scott, they're going to attack the mayor on crime. That's going to be a top issue. What do you want? What do we need to hear from those other folks? You can't just go and throw mud at her. You got to bring something to the table, right?
You do, and I think the crime issue is going to swing both ways. I think the mayor has to tell us what she's been doing on crime and what she could do, and it's a fine line. What can she do different in 4 more years? Because she's sitting there now. She made some comments yesterday at her press conference, which were very good, but many are going to question, why don't you do that now? You're sitting in the mayor's seat. But on the other side, I think, yes, if you're going to run against the mayor and make crime the issue, you have to tell us that you're going to come in and do A, B, and C. You have a plan, and that plan can reduce crime. And that's going to be a heavy lift for anybody, because a lot of the crime that's happening is not necessarily crime that patrols can stop. It's crimes of passion. It seems to be drug-oriented. In some cases, it's retaliatory crime, and it seems to be very, very isolated.
Kind of wince at saying this out loud, is Alan Crump going to be Miss Ollie's albatross?
I think crime's going to be her albatross, and that's unfair. Any elected official gets hung around their neck, something that takes place. If you were Kathleen Blanco, it was Hurricane Katrina. What could you do? You tried. She was never going to overcome that. So for Ollie, yes, I think the crime issue is going to be her thing. She has stuck by the police chief, and some may say that's her undoing. At the same time, she's going to point to that she's loyal, that she's hired good people, she's tried to work a plan. At the end of the day, they tried to argue that crime is not at an all-time record high, but it's definitely spiking. But I think that in the end, social media is something that is really highlighting crime more today than it did 10 or 20 years ago.
Who makes the runoff if we go to the polls today? Which two are in the runoff?
It's hard to pick 2. I really like 3. I'll hedge my bets, but I really think that on the Republican side, or you could say the white side, I think Jim Califero is going to be attractive to a lot of folks. He's a known name with Crime Stoppers. He's got law enforcement experience, so I think Jim Califero could be a very early favorite for one of the spots. I do think Ollie would be a favorite for one of the spots. She is the incumbent mayor. I think she's going to have trouble. Last time in 2014, she got 44% in the primary. I don't think she'll come near 44%. I think she'll be below 30 in the 20s. I think Adrian Perkins, the newcomer, if he makes the race, there's a question of residency that may be fought out in the courts with Adrian. But if assuming he can run, I think he will be a very viable candidate. And so those 3 may be really fighting for 2 spots. The next level down, you're going to have Lee Savage. I think is going to run as a very conservative candidate. He'll be attractive to many in Shreveport. That might get him 15-20%. And then Stephen Jackson, if he runs, is another well-known name that with the Cedric Glover political patronage there, the machine. I think he could probably be very viable as well.
Let me ask you that. Was my next question. Stephen Jackson gets in the race even with an Adrian Perkins in the race. Do you see that happening?
I personally think Stephen's going to run. I haven't talked to Stephen. I think he's been acting like he's going to run. I think he's wanted to run. I think he has people behind him that are willing to support him if he runs. the key here is to understand this race. This is not a party primary system. This is a race where all 9, 10, 15 candidates, whatever it is that get on the ballot, will run. And so you're not looking at who can get 40, 50, 60% this first time. You're looking at who can get 22%, 25%. That makes the runoff. I actually went back and looked at the race in 1990. That was called the Dirty Dozen. That's when Hazel Beard ended up being the mayor. 12 people ran in that race. And in the primary, C.O. Simpkins led, one of the first major African-American candidates to ever run for office. He only had 32%. Hazel had 23% in the primary, but she went on to be the mayor. I think this race is shaping up like that 1990s race. It's not about who can get 50% this first time. It's about who can get 25%.
Everybody in the race eventually will talk about jobs and opportunity and economic development, which brings us to Cross Bayou. Is the Cross Bayou, the $1 billion 10-year Cross Bayou project on the table now? Is that something that not only Miss Ollie, but all of the candidates just would wish it would go away till after the election?
I think the answer is yes, Robert. I think every candidate in City Hall wishes that issue would at least go away till after the election. I think what you're looking at is this may become an issue with the city council races. I think the developers of that project are really trying to put pressure on the council to get 4 votes. The council knows that. They didn't like the deal in its present form. They felt the public reaction to it. So what they really did last week was punt to the mayor. They put this entirely in the mayor's court. Their vote wasn't to support or not support the issue. Their vote was to say that it's the mayor's choice to enter into the MOU. And so the mayor made it very clear, if you watch council, she's running away from the project too. She's saying, I will not spearhead this project. So right now it's a project with no champion at City Hall. And I think after the election, you'll see the development team come back and see if they can find 4 champions on the city council.
Let me ask you this, Scott. We asked Adrian, and he kind of hemmed and hawed just a smidge. What is his connection to Greg Tarver? Is there a connection? Does he have that camp behind him and supporting him?
I don't know what his formal connection would be. The rumor is that he is dating Greg Tarver's daughter, and I hate to talk about people's personal life, but that's sort of become a political issue. I do know that he grew up in the area. I do know that he has sort of been mentored by Greg over the years. Greg has taken him under his wing and kind of helped him find his way. This is a young man that did find his way to a military academy. He's at Harvard. He has interned with the governor down in Baton Rouge, and so he certainly has had some people helping him as he's grown up. And I think he and Greg have a close relationship. I'll just say that.
And you would anticipate support from the Tarver family?
Looking at the ballot, I would say yes. I think when you look at Stephen Jackson, he traditionally draws back to Cedric Glover. He interned under Glover. He worked with Cedric Glover in the legislature as an aide down there. I don't think Ollie Tyler and Greg Tarver are that close, and so if I look at the ballot, I think Adrian Perkins is where the Tarver camp will be on this election.
It's going to be a doozy. It's off and running, qualifying in July, right?
Qualifying's in July, and as we say in politics, nobody's officially running yet. Nobody runs until July when they put their name on the ballot. And then I do think for one or more of these candidates, we may have some challenges to their residency or their eligibility, and that will take a couple of weeks. And so about the first week of August, we'll know the ballot officially.
What is the eligibility for like an Adrian Perkins? Does he have to have a home here for a year? Is that the rule?
The rule is that you must be domiciled, is I think the legal term they use. And the courts, one thing I understand with court challenges, the courts have always been very lenient. The courts always lean toward let the candidate run as much as possible and let their opponents then go out and prove to the voters that the person is qualified or not qualified. The courts really hesitate to take somebody off the ballot. But we've already heard there's at least 2 people that may have issues in qualifying based on various state laws. The issue, though, with Perkins is his residency, and the military is going to be interesting. There's a long-standing precedent dating all the way back to Jefferson back in the Revolutionary War when he was the ambassador to France, always considered a resident of Virginia while he was our ambassador to France. And that same policy has long carried over. People that live overseas when they're working for the military, for the government, they've long been allowed to keep their residency in their home state. So we'll see if he has kept a residency here, particularly his voter registration, he will very likely be okay to run.
Scott Hughes, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, call me anytime. Thank y'all.
Good morning, 752. KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Walker Road near West Bercoons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot, high 97 today, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
It is 7:54, time for sports. Fletch out today. Here's Matt.
A walk-off RBI single in the 10th inning completed the New York Yankees' comeback victory over the Houston Astros 6-5. The Astros have been struggling of late, dropping 3 out of 4 games since taking the lead of the AL West. In other baseball action, the Texas Rangers were able to secure a 9-5 victory over the Seattle Mariners. The Washington Capitals look to rebound from a 6-4 loss against the Las Vegas Knights tonight in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The University of Kentucky has dismissed safety Marcus Walker following his arrest on charges of trafficking cocaine and marijuana. The junior faces a hearing after Lexington police found at least 5 pounds of pot and 4 grams of cocaine during a search of an off-campus apartment. And for the 4th straight year, the Cleveland Cavaliers were square off against the Golden State Warriors for the NBA championship. That series kicks off tomorrow night at 8 p.m. From the KEEL Sports Desk, I'm Matt Parker.
$756, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay. What was the most interesting thing that Scott Hughes said in the last in that little chat?
I'm interested in the
about the mayor's race.
Yeah, I'm interested in the residency challenges, if there will be any. I also was interested to hear him say that Jim Talaferro's got a pretty good shot at making the runoff. I was wondering, is it going to be Leo Savage or Jim Talaferro? Which one will be the one that will be the top 3?
In other words, bluntly put, who's going to be the black guy? Who's going to be the white guy?
Well, there'll be. I think he's right. I think there's going to be 3 contenders, unless one of the others kind of emerges. Stephen Jackson could blow this up into a bit of a mess and be 4 contenders. But I think Stephen Jackson getting in helps Jim Talaferro because it further waters down the African American vote. And I think that helps Jim make the runoff. So if I'm Talaferro, I'm hollering, get him in, get as many in as you want. Get as many
watering down the only... Oh, we'll talk about this more after 8 o'clock. We got to go. 757, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Hannity.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Fake news. CNN lost even more credibility over the weekend. So Saturday, they had a CNN contributor, alleged journalist April Ryan, tweeting a link to an article in a publication called
Your AccuWeather.com forecast.
If they were wearing a Nazi outfit in their profile picture when, in fact, it was a photograph of their father in a U.S. Army uniform. Also on Sunday, another CNN reporter tweeted a link to photos of children in cages in migrant holding facilities, only to have to delete that tweet after realizing the photo was taken in 2014 when Obama was in charge. Wow, they've got to be so proud over at Fake News.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Every business needs great people, and a better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. Goodbye Post and Pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive and Southfield Road. And we're still looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and very hot. High 97 today. Clear to partly cloudy and warm. Low 72 tonight. High 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin getting local news ready, and it's coming up in moments.
The mayoral race is heating up. We'll talk more about that. More crime in Shreveport, and the House side working hard on the budget.
Got to talk about Roseanne. Watch this. Poor thing. What? I'm just joking.
Oh, my goodness.
But they had to know she was crazy. She's been crazy for 30 years.
Yeah.
And now she's saying it was on Ambien. Got a great Ambien story for you. A little more on the mayoral race and budget time in Baton Rouge again. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all here this hour on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler officially kicks off her campaign for re-election.
And so our strategic plan is one of accountability. We hold ourselves accountable, and we're trying to be very good stewards of taxpayer dollars.
She will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Talaferro, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. An accused killer breaks down in court. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears as he listened to officers recount the events. The detective detailed the grisly crime scene and testified that Robinson confessed to killing Renita Williams and having a shootout with police. Robinson's case will be presented to a Caddo grand jury in 2 weeks. 2 people missing in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
Police are searching for 2 disabled people missing in Shreveport. Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Roscoe, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members Tuesday evening. According to police, the pair was last seen around 2 p.m. Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. It's believed that Wilson and Roscoe are driving in a gray Hyundai sedan. If you see them, please notify police immediately. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Shooting early today on West 83rd in Cedar Grove. Several cars hit by gunfire. No one was hit. Shreveport surgeon pleads not guilty. Dr. John Owings pleads not guilty in federal court. He's accused of collecting more than $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. His attorney, Marty Stroud, says Owings made some mistakes, but never intentionally defrauded the government. An emergency forced a cargo plane to return to Shreveport Regional. According to reports, the plane was only 66 miles into its trip when some kind of emergency forced the plane to turn around. Lawmakers in the House have ended days of inaction on the budget. The Appropriations Committee advances a package of bills to chart spending on state government operations in the financial year that begins July 1. Louisiana kicks off its 6th annual Teacher Leader Summit in New Orleans. The conference expected to be attended by 7,000 teachers from around the state. The summit even has its own app to help teachers plot their way through the dozens of lectures and workshops. Superintendent of Academic Content Rebecca Kokler says it's a reinforcement of educational basics.
There are sessions specific to teaching math and reading and writing, and also sessions where they can just learn more about the science behind reading and writing.
This year's conference will have a focus on how to improve outcomes for students. Roseanne Barr showing no signs she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne show over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett, an advisor to former President Obama. Barr's post-firing tweets did include an apology, but also a retweet of a post that juxtaposed an image of Jarrett with an image of a Planet of the Apes actor. High-tech gardening, the wave of the future. You can now get 3D modeling, GPS mapping, lasers, and drones, as well as devices that can read the weather and measure the amount of moisture in the soil. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's traffic. Here's Ruben.
We have reports of a minor accident on Terry Bradshaw Passway eastbound near Walker Road. And we have some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Where artificial intelligence
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. It's 11 past 8 o'clock. Did I slur that a bit?
Just a wee bit.
I was home boxing last night, taking on myself, lost to the guy in the mirror. 11 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Quick question. I don't know if we'll talk about this segment, but I want to talk about this later. Okay. And I want you to ponder this, put this on your little psychological, your little mental back burner. For a little bit later.
All right, I'm ready.
Would Dr. Jim Henderson, earlier this morning in the 7 o'clock hour, we had Dr. Jim Henderson, Henderson University of Louisiana System President.
Yep.
Do you think that Dr. Jim and all of the politicians who are bemoaning potential TOPS cuts?
Sure.
And as always, they say the reason we need TOPS, well, you tell me. Why do we need TOPS? Tell me the biggest, the number one, with a bullet reason why TOPS, the Turner Optical Precision Synonymous
Syndrome,
is a good program.
It keeps college kids here. The goal is to keep them in Louisiana.
Right.
So they go to college here and hopefully stay here. That's the ultimate goal.
Okay, so
and that they get college. A lot of those kids, the other thing is other kids wouldn't get college
Not arguing
if they didn't
that at
have
all.
tops.
So, I know tops pisses you
He
off.
just needs to zip it because he's a tops hater.
I have a legitimate question.
Mm-hmm.
If funding tops at the detriment of the entire higher education system.
But he said, Dr. Jim talked about that. He said it's apples and oranges.
Yep.
That was one of the questions I asked. But let me ask you this, and here's what I want to put on the back burner for later in the hour or maybe the 20 segment, because we'll talk about Roseanne in a minute. Do you think that if they could push the button, do you think Dr. Jim and any or all of the politicians that we sent to Baton Rouge had their way? If we had the button to push and it would be free college for everybody, do you think they'd push it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that would be a good idea?
No.
It would cost too much. We couldn't afford it.
If we had the money.
If we had the money.
Yeah. Should there be free college for everybody, like high school? And what value in America?
But I would say yes to free college, but you got to show me something. You can't go down there and take Tequila 101.
We don't do that with high school or elementary school.
And
you don't got to show
thong
nothing.
bikinis 202.
It's basically
you got to go down there and perform.
If you remember the story about Oprah spending millions and millions and millions.
Oh, her school in Africa.
On her private school that she built in Africa.
You bet.
And one of the reporters asked her, "You just spent like $100 million of your own money for this school overseas. Why didn't you build it in the USA?" Do you remember what she answered?
No.
She said, because in America, education is valueless. It's free. Everybody takes it for granted. These girls here, these students here, they get up and will walk 20 miles every day to and from school because otherwise they don't get an education. So I ask you, would we, if college were free, would it have any meaning to anybody? Would it be important to anyone anymore? Or would it just be, as you just said, it's free now, Tequila 101?
I think it would have value to those who want to get started on their career, those who want to start becoming an adult.
Does college right now really prepare anybody for a career?
Oh, absolutely. Don't say that. You're going to have college professors throwing darts at you. Absolutely. Bipsy puts out people getting ready for careers every day.
When you have colleges teaching things, I know a guy with a son.
Oh, there's all the remedial stuff. But
wait.
I get that.
A requirement is gender studies.
Oh, that's,
Okay, but I'm asking
not
you.
in Louisiana. No.
Where do you think that?
No.
I guarantee you.
A requirement is gender studies in Louisiana. BS.
It depends on your major.
BS.
It would make you crazy if you saw some of the courses offered and the money that was being spent for students to take courses not only in Louisiana, but college courses across this country that literally have nothing to do with preparing them for a career.
I would tell you,
how many?
The vast majority of offerings here at our local colleges do help prepare people for adult jobs.
What is the number one complaint of college graduates in America today? Let's ask Matt. What is the number one complaint of college graduates leaving universities today as they seek employment?
Ooh.
Didn't prepare me for anything. I'm not prepared to do that.
Well, you can't get a degree in poetry and expect to earn a high-paying job. Get a high-paying job.
Okay, so
go get a degree where there's a fee, where there's a demand.
You just made my point. That we are we really? Does the university system in Louisiana?
If you want a job and you want a good job, you go get the college education that would fit. You don't go get one of these general degrees where you're studying poetry and art and architecture, because that's not going to help you.
Hold on. As someone that graduated college most recently in this room,
yes, sir.
I had a major of journalism and communications, and I would say that my education did not prepare me whatsoever for any work I've ever.
I took that That's so funny y'all mentioned
35 years ago.
Shut up a minute.
Go ahead.
Shut up. I took a call yesterday from the LSU Foundation. Of course, the primary reason for the call was money, but the secondary reason for the call was, did your college prepare you for your career? Are you still working in the field where you graduated from college? And it absolutely did. I had a radio station in my college. I worked in the radio station. I took radio classes. I'm doing what I learned and did in college.
What year?
35 years later.
35. What year did you graduate from college?
83.
And you say yes. What year did you graduate from college?
2010.
And you say no. 18 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, and yet they still want to pay for it all. Do you think they'd push the button? I think they would.
Oh, yeah, they would.
18 past 8, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, traffic and weather and sports on the way.
Geek.
Nineteen past 8 o'clock, Keel traffic, and it's Reuben time.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive and Southfield Road. And we're still looking at some heavy backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty past 8 o'clock, time for Keel Sports. Matt's here for Fletch.
A walk-off RBI.
This is one of those maybe I should have read this to you before we started. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. You ready for this?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
You're scaring me.
I'm a little scared myself.
Mm-hmm.
Put your phone down and listen. So
Okay.
who did we have on last hour? Scott Hughes.
Yeah.
Talking about handicapping, as you phrased it, handicapping the mayor's race.
Mm-hmm.
What did Mr. Scott, what did you take from that conversation? What was the most interesting thing he said to us? Just like with Dr. Jim. What was the most interesting Mr. Scott said to us?
That Taliaferro probably has the inside track to get in the runoff with either Ollie Tyler or Adrian Perkins.
A text from someone who, let's say, political insider,
Okay.
who will remain anonymous.
Right.
If Jackson opts out, he suspects that he, meaning Jackson, Jerry Bowman, Glover, Tarver, Rod Demery, and several others will all be in the Adrian Perkins camp. If Jackson runs, which sources tell me he will, it's more likely we will see a runoff with Jackson and Perkins, with Tyler third and Savage fourth. Wow. I'm not sure how much weight you can throw into that theory.
Well, I know Rod Demery is a pick of police chief for one of the candidates. It's not mentioned on who he's supporting. So, I mean, that there's a little flaw in that. Because Demery's in talks to be police chief, or has been in talks to be police
talks
chief.
Or has been approached. There's
has
a
been
difference.
approached.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's been by Lee Savage. He said it at a meeting. He's talked to him. So that's a little bit straying from what this says.
Mm-hmm.
This would put Demery, because Demery's a Republican. Don't get that difference. He's a Republican. Last he and I talked. He's a registered Republican. So
Well, just because someone approaches somebody doesn't mean that they're all of a sudden in that camp.
and Rod loves what he's doing now. So I don't know that he wanted to be chief. I'm not sure.
Well, he works at what, the DA's office?
Yes, he's
and
an
then he's got the
investigator.
TV show.
Investigator
That's
for
all.
the DA's office,
Yeah.
and you have a TV show.
Yeah. Does he need to be police chief of Shreveport? I don't know. I'm not sure.
So what was Mr. Scott's theory? He said it would probably, he thought it would be either Tyler or Perkins and Taliaferro in the runoff.
That's what it
That
looked
was how
like.
he handicapped it at this
Yes.
point.
And
Let me ask you something. If Stephen
Jackson throws a mess in it. I'm just telling you.
If Stephen Jackson, Caddo Commissioner Stephen Jackson, and fair to say, Cedric Glover acolyte, is that a fair term?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. If Stephen Jackson opts out, if he decides not to run,
Who does he support? That would be huge.
answer me this. If Jackson decides not to run, what does it tell you about what he thinks about Adrian Perkins versus Ollie Tyler?
He thinks Adrian's going to beat her. But here's going to be
say that again.
He thinks Adrian's going to beat her.
Because I'm sure he thinks
But wait.
he can beat Miss Ollie.
Oh yeah, they all do. They
So
all
if he-
think Ollie's vulnerable.
So if he stays out, pardon me, if Stephen stays out, it's because he sees Adrian as an insurmountable force.
Yes. Who would, at that point, if Jackson's not in, who would the Glover-Jackson camp support? Because they're obviously not going to support Adrian Perkins, who's many say is in the Tarver camp. Would they then get behind Ollie?
In other words, would the rift, the traditional rift, as we have noted many times, that the political opposition that Tarver and Glover, what do we say? Two politicians see the same thing and draw two different conclusions.
Who would that camp support? And, we heard all along when Ollie ran that she was just Glover's plant. She was going to be doing things.
And every time we would see that, we would just laugh out loud because
Yeah.
of just because we knew.
Right. But would they actually get behind her and try to help her win and help her beat Adrian Perkins? I don't know. It'd be really interesting, which makes
So
me
you
think
see,
Stephen Jackson's in.
So you see no possibility that if Stephen opts out, that he's throwing his weight at Jim Taliaferro. That Glover backs Taliaferro. I say that tongue in cheek.
Well, I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
What's one of Cedric's big things?
Mayors don't have beards?
Okay, what's Cedric's second thing? Crime in the city. If he thinks... I mean, what's he been banging on Ollie and, everybody but him on here recently? That, crime's going up, somebody's got to do something. Look at all the great things that happened before me, during me, and then look at all the stuff that's blowing up now.
Just got a text from Scott. It says, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
28 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic and weather, and Erin local news up next on KEEL. Twenty-nine past 8 o'clock, KEEL traffic update. Ruben's here.
The intersection at North Market and MLK Drive is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still looking at some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
After several days of inaction, the Appropriations Committee passes 4 budget bills onto the floor. The proposed spending plan from Representative Cameron Henry would fund TOPS at 80% and cut higher ed by $26 million. Baton Rouge Representative Patricia Smith says funding TOPS while slashing higher ed just doesn't make sense.
You have to have the facilities for them to go to and the classes and the instructors in the classrooms for them to be able to go to a facility.
Correct. And I
You
think
can have
that's
the students all you want.
There were some tense moments in the committee as Poor People's Campaign advocates testified, accusing lawmakers of adopting immoral budgets that target societies who are most vulnerable.
I don't ever hear anybody talking about a moral obligation as human beings to try to care for one another. We talk about putting nursing homes on the chopping block, hospitals, education. These are moral issues. They aren't just line items in a budget.
The budget debate now headed to the House floor. Shark attack in Florida with a teenager the victim. More from Tom Rigotti.
15-year-old Cody High of San Angelo, Texas, was swimming with his family in Cocoa Beach when he was attacked by a 7-foot bull shark. The fish took a bite out of his calf before swimming away. High says he saw blood everywhere and knew something bad had happened. Emergency responders helped High to the boardwalk, then rushed him to the hospital, where doctors say he received too many stitches to count. High is now out of the hospital, but he's looking at rehab and possibly another surgery. A GoFundMe page has been created to help pay for expenses. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Police searching for 2 disabled people missing in Shreveport. Willie Wilson, who suffers from dementia, and Frederick Rasco, who has Down syndrome, were reported missing by concerned family members. According to police, they were last seen Tuesday on Oak Valley Drive. An accused killer breaks down in court. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend live on Facebook, broke down in tears Tuesday as he listened to Shreveport police recount the tragic events. The detective detailed the grisly crime scene and testified that Robinson confessed to killing Renea Williams and having a shootout with police. Robinson's case will be presented to a grand jury in 2 weeks. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Mayor Ollie Tyler announces she's running for re-election. She says she'll run on her record and the successes in bringing grant money to town.
Additionally, our team has applied for and acquired more than probably $25 million now. Last year, at the end of last year, we had more than $20 million in grant dollars over a 3-year period to supplement tax dollars to provide greater services and programs for our citizens.
Tyler will have several challengers, including Adrian Perkins, Lee Savage, Jim Talifero, Ray Smith, John Paul Young, Ken Kreft, and possibly Stephen Jackson. Shreveport surgeon pleads not guilty. Dr. John Owings pled not guilty in federal court. He's accused of collecting more than $200,000 in Social Security benefits that he wasn't qualified for. His attorney, Marty Stroud, says Owings made some mistakes but never intentionally defrauded the government. An emergency forced a cargo plane to return to Regional Airport. According to reports, the plane was only 66 miles into its trip when there was some kind of emergency that forced the plane to turn around. The fire department had over a dozen units on standby as the plane landed. Luckily, no one was hurt. A record number of women are seeking seats in the U.S. Senate. 42 women in the two major parties, the most ever, are qualified to run for 19 seats in the Senate. And Roseanne Barr showing no signs she will remain quiet about her firing from her popular ABC series and has highlighted supporters' tweets criticizing the network. ABC canceled the rebooted Roseanne over a racist tweet by the comedian attacking Valerie Jarrett, an advisor to former President Obama. Barr's post-firing tweets included an apology, but also a retweet of a post that juxtaposed an image of Jarrett with an image of a Planet of the Apes actor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
We have a short segment. Grab that mic. 101.7 FM at 710 KEEL.
What the heck did you just bring in here?
Greg Adams staggered in. What did you just bring, Matt?
Stagger in. That makes it sound like I was drinking it on my way in.
I meant that in a good way.
Yeah,
okay.
What'd you bring, Matt?
It is a peanut butter porter. It is a peanut butter beer from Back 40 Beer Company in Gadsden, Alabama.
Oh, man, why didn't you bring two? We'd pound them.
Because I destroyed everything else that I purchased. It is one of the best tasting beers. Apologies to Great Raft, but that beer. Hey, I've got like 3 or 4 of my favorite beers that come out of Great Raft. So
I was just going to ask you about that. As the reputation of Shreveport and Bossier as a hotbed of local craft beers.
Yes.
Tell me, I'm not to me, and I apologize to beer guys and gals. I ain't. The beer I drink I want a Coors Light because it tastes the most like water. I drink Michelob Ultra, but it tastes like chemicals.
Yeah.
So when you talk about how great 318 is,
yes,
and you wax about its awesomeness,
yes,
that I apologize to everybody. Not only am I beer ignorant, it's just lost on me.
Well, I have the benefit of being from the craft brewing capital of the world in Michigan, and I spent 5 years in Wisconsin, which is just plain the beer capital.
Oh, man.
So, and maybe not the world, maybe the U.S. I think Germany's maybe got a leg up on us there. But the craft brewing is so far ahead of where it should be in Shreveport and Bossier.
Explain what you mean by that.
It's still in its infancy. The craft brewing locally is still in the early stages.
Less than 5 years old.
Well, I mean, even if you're in the 10 to 15 year range, I mean, look at Abita. Abita's been doing it since '86.
Yep.
And they're hitting strides right now that are not too far ahead of Great Raft, at least in my humble opinion.
I had an Abita at the Beast Feast, I think.
Yes.
Good beer.
It is great beer, and they have so many different options. Like their strawberry one is fantastic. But what Great Raft is doing on a Shreveport scale, and not being that many steps behind a place that's been doing it for over 30 years, is pretty incredible when you really put it in perspective.
They've made some changes over there that I read about. What were those most recent? Am I thinking of Great Raft? I don't know. Somebody made some pretty big changes in the way they're in their distribution.
Flying Heart, wasn't it?
Well, Red River Brewery quits bottling and selling to stores, which is you know, and then Flying Heart and Bossier added a full bar and a restaurant and some other stuff because they don't. They also don't ship to stores. They don't have a distribution deal, so they're trying to do some things to get more people to come check them out and hang out.
But you brought him a peanut butter beer?
Yeah, so Back 40 Brewing in Gadsden, Alabama is a my wife's family is from that area, and what's great about that area is it was so dry for so long. It was a huge bootlegging area. And for these breweries to pop up, actually, DeKalb County, where her parents have a place in Fort Payne, which is the birthplace of the band Alabama, they are still a damp county. So they just now got liquor stores. And those liquor stores carry Back 40.
Now, in Alabama, the state runs all the liquor stores. It's
not anymore.
Really?
Yes, they've
that must
changed.
be like recent in the last couple of years.
In the last couple of years, they've become very progressive.
Because you've heard me talk about the ABOs, where the state literally keep it all yourself. You know, it's like when we were talking about the possibility of legalizing sports gambling. I said, well, why give it to the casinos? Just the state open. If you're going to do it, let the state run it all and open their own stores.
And they've gotten to the point now where there are there's still a lot of legal avenues that you have to navigate, but you can have a party store now, you can have a liquor store now. So I mean, you can jump in there. I go to the groceries, just the local neighborhood grocery store there, and now I can buy beer and liquor.
That is so cool.
Would you be willing to open that and let Erin have some?
Hell no.
Now I have to warn you though, because again, this is a craft beer. So like your regular Coors, your Coors Light is like a 3.8% alcohol by volume, maybe 4. That's 10.4 in that can.
Ooh wee.
That can will
basically, if Erin would drink that
Where's my lift guy?
between now and 9 o'clock, it would be reminiscent of the days when she drank the NyQuil PM on the radio.
Well, she would feel it.
And
She would feel
passed
it.
out.
Erin can hold her booze. Remember, not too terribly long ago, she drank a 6-pack on the air.
Yes, she did, didn't she?
So let's not get carried away.
I like it when you refer to yourself in the third person.
Can we talk about the mayor's race again? Because I'm just seeing, I got a message from Stephen Jackson just now. Adrian Perkins has posted some interesting notes on his Facebook.
And I want to see, Matt can fill us in on the Jim Talaferro video, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that made it sound awful. No, it's kind of, it's a campaign-oriented one.
Come on, Matt, share the beer.
8:31, 8:39, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben, traffic update on Keel.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hollywood Avenue near St. Vincent Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Olmsted Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 842. Shreveport Security System text line is 318-392-1884. Let's start with Matt and the video. Where did you find this video of Jim Taliaferro?
Well, it was on Steven Jackson's page. He's actually in the video. Someone tagged him in it. It was from an event this weekend, I guess, at a barber shop in Shreveport where it was kind of a men talk type thing. And one of the speakers, I guess,
was this bluntly put, was this a black neighborhood or a white neighborhood? Or was it a multiracial haircutting establishment?
I would say it was more of the urban style barber shop.
Thank you very much. So, who was there? You know more about this, too. What did they talk about? What was the plan?
I didn't get a chance to watch the video. I just saw it because, we've been on the air this morning. But it looked like Jim Taliaferro was speaking to a large group of black men and women at this barbershop hair place.
Several people were speaking. I know Stephen was there. There were other people, some other leaders there, and they all got a chance to speak and talk about what's going on.
You had sent a text to Cattle Commissioner Stephen Jackson, rumored to be on the verge of announcing a mayoral candidacy.
Yep.
And you sent him a text about, because we've got, let's go through again.
I got the list here.
Declared or leaning. Let's include leaning, but exclude for the moment Mr. Jackson.
Okay.
You got Adrian Perkins, Ollie Tyler.
Right.
You've got Jim Taliaferro, Leo Savage.
Right.
Ken Kraft.
He's getting the signatures.
Is it Dixon or Nixon, the new guy?
Tremikius Dixon.
Okay. You've got the New Orleans guy who's what's his name?
Ray
Maddie?
Smith.
Ray Smith. Okay. Keep going.
John Paul Young.
Right. The restaurant owner, the Levy.
And that's it. And then possibly Stephen Jackson.
Okay.
So I sent Stephen a text because now, Mayor Tyler had her big announcement last night, official announcement. It was a big fundraiser, to be honest.
How's the website looking, by the way?
Yeah, I just checked. It's not up yet.
Okay.
Man, they need to get Matt. You need to get.
Well,
them to
call
hire
your
you.
girl. You two are buddies.
No, we're not buddies at the moment.
I'll take her money.
We're
and
on
help
again,
her
off
out.
again. So Steve and I asked, when are you making your mayoral announcement? And it took him a minute, but he answered me just a few minutes ago. He said, soon, and good morning. That's it. Soon. Does that mean tomorrow?
Yesterday we had the email announcement from Jerry Bowman,
He's not running.
Shreveport City Councilman Jerry Bowman, saying he was not going to run. A lot of rumor about that.
Rod Demery is not running.
Yeah, that Bowman has accepted a position at University Health Hospital. He was previously, or still for at least the next couple of weeks, I don't know how that works, with Willis Knighton, right?
Yep. Now, Savage has talked to Demery about being his police chief. I would imagine Demery will be on a lot of people's radars, for some sort of role in the administration. Rod, though, I talked to him. He's real happy doing what he's doing. He loves working at the DA's office. He loves doing the TV show. So does he make a move? I don't know. He loves spending time with his kids. That was what, if I had to tell you in my convo with Rod, we had a private conversation, lengthy conversation. His conversation with me was, I like having the time to spend with my children now. And that's what I'm enjoying most. So if you're mayor or if you're police chief, that kind of goes away.
Let's take a little shift in direction here. The phrase of the morning is, the motto of the morning is, same clown, different shoes. If no matter what your political leaning is, if you don't understand why ABC fired Roseanne, canceled her show, after comparing a black woman to a primate, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Now, that you just, there are lines you just don't cross.
Right.
Do you think, let's canvass the room, do you think that ABC, do you think they thought this was a different, new, and improved and controlled Roseanne? Or do you think they knew she was a time bomb and it was only that the clock was ticking?
No, they know what they're getting. TV's doing now anything they can to get attention. They are throwing any pile of poop on the wall and seeing what sticks. They're throwing reboots of every show. I expect Gilligan's Island to be back. They're going to throw every pile of poop up there and see what's going to stick.
And yet
well, Roseanne stuck.
It was an extremely,
and it's some smelly poop.
It was an extremely highly rated money-making pile of poop that you're talking about here.
The 10-episode first season made ABC $45 million.
So the point we're making, you have a thought?
Well, I was just going to say they probably knew what was going to happen sooner or later, but they were hoping for the best. And then this time bomb went off before they could cash a bunch more checks.
Which brings us to the phrase of the morning, same clown, different shoes. Roseanne has crossed the line in the minds of her employers, in the eyes of those who were paying her a busload of money. She crossed the line. She, by the reaction of the American population, had offended just about everybody. In the eyes of the media, she had offended just about everybody. And they, bottom line, ABC determined, Roseanne, you are costing us money and you are bad for the brand.
Yes.
You got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Same clown, different shoes. NFL protesters. Is there a difference?
There's a huge difference, Robert.
Is there really?
There is a huge difference.
Wait.
I don't like them kneeling for the flag. Don't get me wrong. I hate that.
Not in the content of what they had to say. But your employer, at the end of the day,
oh yeah, you're costing me money. Yeah, I get your argument there.
Then you do see
but
the
you
point.
cannot make a personal attack on another individual and call them an ape and say that's the same as somebody kneeling for the flag.
But what the
that
NFL,
again is ridiculous.
But what the NFL has decided is that you protesters cannot offend our fans. You have crossed the line, and not only have you offended the people that we count on to buy products from our advertisers, but you are costing us money.
Oh, I totally agree, and people have stopped watching. I know a lot of people who have stopped watching the NFL.
Same clown, different shoes. 849, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic and weather updates. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hollywood Avenue near St. Vincent Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Olmsted Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, very hot with sun and a high of 97 today. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a warm low of 72, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
ABC has just canceled the reboot of their Roseanne show after the star, Roseanne Barr, put out a tweet that was seen as a racist joke against former Obama administration official Valerie Jarrett.
What Roseanne said in and of itself is not any more salacious than what has been said about Melania Trump or Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The fact of the matter is this is a free speech issue. It's something that the UK is dealing with right now because they realize that those on the left have been trying to silence those on the right by calling them racist and accusing them of all sorts of horrible things.
It's one thing to speak truth to power. It's another to use your power to silence others.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, it's 8:54. Okay, so Roseanne's excuse now is she's saying she was on Ambien.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
What she said, the whole statement, to be fair, was, I was on Ambien, but there's no excuse. Please quit defending me.
Okay, so here's the deal. And if you remember, when we were still on KVKI, we had heard stories about people on all sorts of sleeping medications and the odd dreams, the nightmares, the sleepwalking, more specifically, the sleep eating. Remember, people called us with sleep eating stories?
Oh, yeah.
Here, from about 10 years ago when we were on KVKI, is the ultimate sleep eating story. Husband is on Ambien, goes to bed with his wife.
I remember this.
She wakes up at about 2 o'clock in the morning. He's gone. She sees in the kitchen a light is on. She gets up and walks into the kitchen and sees her husband has done the following. On a plate, 4 slices of bread, mayonnaise, cheese, tomatoes. On the countertop, she sees him with a carving knife, a butcher knife, and he is slicing. Wait. He has taken the foam rubber cushion. He's taken the foam rubber cushion out of the little zipper cover on the love seat, and he is slicing the foam rubber like
it's a block of cheese.
Like it was a ham. And he is putting slices of foam rubber in place of meat on the bread for a sandwich. That, my friends, is sleep eating.
Yeah.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Back tomorrow morning. Let's go a little early. We've run out of things to say. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
While Amazon and Apple continue denying that Alexa and Siri eavesdrop on private conversations, you can take full control and turn off their eyes and ears completely. Kim Commando with your Wednesday Consumer Tech Update. Since news last week that an Amazon Echo eavesdropped on a Portland couple and then on its own sent the recorded conversation to a random person on the couple's contact list, tech writers have been telling you how to find out from Apple and Amazon what their devices have recorded about you. Here's a better idea. Simply prevent the Echo and Siri from eavesdropping altogether. Start with killing the mic. All these devices have a setting that disables its microphone. Amazon's Echo will turn red when the mic is off. With smartphones, limit what apps get access to your smartphone's microphone and camera. The FBI keeps masking tape all over its laptops and tablets' cameras until they're actually needed. You can also buy what's called a Faraday bag. Carry your smartphone in one, and it's going to block all the signals. No one can track you. You have control. I'm Kim Commando.
It's vital to protect your home and family with a home security system without sacrificing your privacy. That's what I love about SimpliSafe. You'll get an HD camera that you control from your phone. You'll see what's going on when you're away, which is great. But what about your camera and your privacy when you're at home? SimpliSafe has a solution. When the camera's on, you'll see a small indicator light. When it's off, so is the light. SimpliSafe designed this camera with a privacy shutter. When you hear it click, you know the shutter's closed. Even the world's best hacker can't see through SimpliSafe's thin, lightweight aluminum privacy camera shutter. It works every time. It's details like these that set SimpliSafe apart as the best security system for your home, your family, your peace of mind, and your personal privacy. SimpliSafe isn't just home security, it's home security done right. So check out SimpliSafe for yourself today at simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com, simplysafekim.com.
ShreveportHelpWanted.com presents The World's Worst Boss, the one who posts jobs on huge national job sites, looking for anyone with a pulse. We'll just call him Dave.
Hello, people that work for me. As a means to monitor productivity, and I'll be honest, my own curiosity, I've been monitoring your internet usage for the past 2 months. And rather than meet with each one of you, I think it'll be faster and more humiliating to just do it all at once. Jennifer, I'm sorry to hear about that rash. Judging by the amount of time you spend researching for remedies, it must be painful. Mary, your wife looked wonderful in her swimsuit on your vacation to Hawaii. Aloha. Marie, I see you've been sending emails complaining that I'm obnoxious and not fit to be a boss. Well, have fun complaining about me to the people at your next job.
Don't work for a Dave. Find a boss you can respect. One who's looking for great and local talent at ShreveportHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
We don't discriminate against people named Dave. Dave is a common name, fun to say, and so we're using it as a catch-all for lackluster bosses everywhere. They post jobs on the big national job boards because they really don't care. Please do not write us to tell us you're a Dave who was insulted by this ad. That would be a real Dave move, Dave.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hollywood Avenue near St. Vincent Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Olmsted Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, mostly sunny and very hot, high 97 today, clear to partly cloudy and warm, low 72 tonight, high 94 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.